main thing is that suffering is absolutely necessary. That's what.
Sorry, Ron.
Either take it, either accept it willingly, or it will come in any case.
Well, Mataji, so are you saying that suffering is a prerequisite, like without suffering, we cannot be close to Purusha, or we cannot make the connection, or the Purusha
Well,
or
just
Mother
read the lives of people who have realized some higher values or higher levels of consciousness. Read their lives and see whether they had a very comfortable life or not.
Yeah, I know, they didn't.
It doesn't
So
really easy.
then it's clear, absolutely clear, that suffering is absolutely normal.
But I know it's normal, but is it necessary?
If it is normal, doesn't it prove that it's necessary?
Is suffering and work the same?
Pardon?
You're saying suffering and work is the same?
Suffering is not necessarily connected with anything, any side of human nature in particular. It can come in many ways. It can come through work, through emotions, through relationships, through any intellectual endeavor. It seems to be connected as a most normal underground way in which we try to evolve. Evolution and suffering, I believe, are absolutely connected. One can accept it willingly, or one can go on protesting, but it's not possible to avoid it.
Yeah, I was reading something about if you don't work to find your inner God, you can't be lazy. You have to do the work. And sometimes that is
Oh
takes some
yes,
suffering.
of course. One has to accept that kind of suffering as adventure.
I like that adventure.
Yeah. So where are we?
Page 14. And starting with the top.
Do you have questions?
Yeah, please.
I don't know if anybody else wants to start with questions, but I had just one, I'd like you to talk a little more about the chart that shows causation defined as the relationship between name and form.
Yes.
Name and form. Take any particular name and think of the form. Let us take the ocean, and a wave which is separated from the ocean through a name. It's not really separate, and yet we give it a separate name. So what is its connection with the ocean? We would say the ocean is the cause and the wave is the effect. Would we? Supposing
So
we
have-
think, pardon?
We have two names, we have the ocean name and the wave name.
Yeah,
And so we were saying that the ocean name causes some effect, and then we name that effect. Is that what you're saying?
well, the human mind is always trying to find out what are the connections. And the connections in simple language would be cause and effect. What is the connection of the wave to the ocean? Since the ocean seems to be big and the wave is just a small something, manifestation, it's natural for the mind to think that the ocean is the cause and the wave is the effect. So these are words. So it's my mind which wants to first give a separate name to the wave, separates it from the ocean, and then wants to know what is the relationship between the source and the apparent effect. We have this, I think it's a compulsion of the human mind to always find causes and effects. So it isn't as if the ocean itself is telling me I am the cause, or the wave is saying I am the effect. It's not like that. The same about anything in this universe. We have the desire to link things together through cause and effect. So we think of something that is happening again and again, and our feeling is that they are connected as cause and effect. So that is the theory of causation in a very simple way, and it has to happen in space and time. Can't happen in any other way. Space is the form. Without space there is no form, and without name there is no link. So I am always trying to name things in this world, and then trying to find out what could be the cause and what could be the effect. Because the mind thinks in chronological order, past, present, future. So there is a kind of subconscious way of understanding that since the wave vanishes and the ocean does not seem to vanish, so it is the wave which is the effect, and we link it with it happens, it happened, and it will happen. So this past, present, future is again imposed on name and form through the theory of causation. Space-time causation is taken in Advaita psychology as very basic to our thinking. We ignore it, we don't really bother about whether there is a network in which we are trying to catch our experiences. We are always trying to put them in the grid of space-time causation. But the grid is unknown to us. I mean, we don't think about it. Same here also. We would pay attention to the object rather than to space and time and things like that. But without that underlying network, there is no way of making sense of our experiences. We put it in the grid. The grid is space-time causation.
In reference to that, you had mentioned that it was like interweaving space and time.
Yeah.
And causation would be what links everything.
Yes. That's the way we try to understand our experiences. That is also the way in which this physical reality is studied by us. It isn't as if the physical reality itself says that there is space-time causation. I impose it. So my mind, that is why in Advaita they say, give that importance to your own mind rather than giving it to the object. Because it's not the object that is saying, I am important. It's I who give that importance to the experience or the world outside. So take it back and understand that your experiences are never greater than you are. Yes?
It seems like we're caught up with the little sun out there, which is reflecting our environment and our experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that little sun is getting the light from the light that we all are, right? We all have that light. And we're identifying with the external, like you were saying, we're too identified with the object. We're always trying to refer to the object.
Yes, but there the light is my own.
Yes.
It's not the light of the sun.
Right.
It's my own light, which with the help of attention, paying attention, we throw on any experience or object and then see it as if it's outside myself. And it is, I did not contribute anything.
Right.
The whole idea is to understand that we are contributing the main thing, my understanding or my way of superimposing is the main thing. So take it back and understand that without my light there can be no experience. So take that control back into yourself and then choose which experiences you want to have and which you don't want to have, and then understand that there will be consequences for every experience. Yes?
There is no experience greater than yourself. So, can we posit that in a very unusual state, such as so many people who have died and come back to life and talk about their experience while they were dead to the hospital people and so on, they are still creating that in their way of enameling, in their way of inventing, as we all do here. Would that not be true? For all their accounts have some similarity. They see a light or whatever, but one person sees a Jesus, the other one sees somebody else. So even in that state of no consciousness, dead on the operating room, there's still this process going on. Nothing's
See,
greater than
we
ourselves.
assume many things, that there is no consciousness after the physical body is dead. But consciousness does not depend on the body.
Yeah, that's true.
There is this inner organ, what is called the subtle body in our psychology. The subtle body also is connected with the Atman, which is the basic source of light, consciousness, and that individual Atman is also connected with the universal source all the time. Whether we acknowledge it, whether we know it, or whether we ignore it, it isn't as if a wave can ever be separated from the ocean. And that is what we need to understand. That I am never separated from the source. I cannot be. But we take it for granted that I am a separate identity, and whatever I have within myself is my own. Nothing is my own. We are part of the ocean of consciousness. We are the part of material universe also. But we don't remember the relationships, because the relationships are very subtle, and in order to find them and remember them and experience them, some extra effort is needed, which we are not willing to do. That's the basic problem. That it isn't as if we have, just because I feel I am separate, I have separated. It is not so. I cannot be. Because my energy or my consciousness comes from a source. What is that source? Let us say the source of physical life is in food. Food comes from the soil, and the soil gets it from the sun. Where else from? Is there any other way? But I don't remember, and I don't acknowledge. So because I don't acknowledge, I never find the links. So the links have first of all to be understood, taken into consideration, and then again and again and again repeated, so that my mind has that knowledge as its background. But we don't do it. Everything is evident today. There is nothing that is not visible today. How would this earth survive without the light of the sun? How would it survive? How would the plants survive without the light of the sun? Is there any other way? We don't seem to think about it.
Well, but there's fish now that they found in the darkest depths of the ocean where there's absolutely no light that are surviving. So
There is a different kind of light.
yeah.
Remember again that light is not only one band. Again.
Well, plus they make their own light. They're iridescent. That's why we can see.
Yeah, why not? Because everything is finally connected. So these connections, these links have to be taken into consideration so that we understand who we are, why we are, what we are. All that is given within our own system. But we don't pay attention, and even when we learn about this information, we do not take it in the sense of making it a permanent background to our thinking and living and whatever.
Maybe I kind of was feeling some of what, or you might have been going to, Vidya, but I was been wondering about it. So as it relates to the sun, so the sun is also taking from Purusha.
Of course.
Right, so, but we're focused more and oriented more toward the physical dimension of it, like in what it lights up. So with our example yesterday with the practice of Bhakti Yoga, we concentrate on an object and we can use the physical sun to do that because we can see it and so I direct all my energy there, and eventually with enough attention it starts coming
back to me. Everything in this universe is coming back to me. Whatever I am paying attention to comes back to me.
And so it gets stronger and stronger as the more attention I can concentrate on.
Definitely.
So then what I was just like trying to sense was that then that capacity to focus so intently outward, then it eventually starts coming back. So through all of the channels, it's like that. Can I kind of think of that as the process of purification of the.
Purification is connected with the selfishness and unselfishness. If I am doing it with a selfish motive, I'll never go to the universal because I want to remain separate, which is the core of selfishness. So I will never merge in the ultimate light. So merging in the ultimate light, whether taking the whole universe in it, is a way of letting go of my separation, which is the basic problem. And my desire to objectify or my desire to possess, let us say, objects or relationships or whatever, is to play the game. And I can play the game only as a separate individual. As a universal source, we do not know what kind of game that is. We only know our own games. And those games are basically based on my survival. So I am only interested in my survival. So my survival can be very selfish. It can be a little less. It can be, you can take it to the extreme. I love this universe and therefore I am in it. But as a separate individual, I am still selfish.
And so we went between, so we've got the individual level of being the first separation, and because I want to play or because the selfishness of that act. But then you also talked to us about how we have these collective, these like groups have, races or whatever have a certain kind of consciousness or a certain kind of identity with each other, that so it might not just be me selfish alone, it's my group, I'm going to take care of my
that
group.
Also is selfishness.
Yeah. So then I'm wondering, as it relates to our model though, because right now I can see it more clearly, like I can see it from an individual level, but then I'm trying to think about how and then you've helped me see it from a universal level, because the universal is just the collective of it.
Yeah.
But when I'm wondering about that in-between zone, like what does, like when it's a group, is a group capable, like historically groups have been used not by choice, I mean we just come into a group and that's our group and we live in that group. But
it can become a choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Becoming conscious of these, that's the whole idea. You become more and more conscious and you break barriers, and then you try to get out of these limited group ideas or clan ideas or religious idea, my religion, my nation, your nation. All these are boundaries within which we feel comfortable. We belong, therefore we feel comfortable, and that's why we keep it on. That is why we want to belong to groups or families or whatever. It is my comfort that I am thinking of. Because without I surviving, there's nothing else. So my basic attachment is to myself. It isn't to anything in this universe. It's only when I forget that basic unit, that I'm trying to pull the whole universe towards myself, that I start realizing that it is all for me,
The small
and
I.
that me is supposed to be the cause of basic problems. So it's either I understand it that this is so, or and then go deeper how to get out of it. And getting out doesn't need to be absolutely now, just now. It can be gradual, and we do try to get out of this selfishness gradually by creating groups, by creating families, by creating all kinds of limited ideas, so that within that I can exercise my unselfishness. So we have these, tendencies. There is a tendency to become unselfish, because I realize that I will not be happy if I am not unselfish. We know that also. But then we do not know where to draw the line, because any group, whichever group I live in, will start conflicting with me, my choice, my ideas, my ways of functioning. And that is what creates tremendous problems. And till I break all barriers, I can never be at rest. So it's an ongoing process, ongoing struggle. And if I understand it, I'll play it sensibly, with a balance, with understanding. And if I do it haphazardly, without understanding, then it doesn't give me what I am looking for. If I am looking for permanent peace or permanent love or whatever I like to call it, then beyond a point, these things do not come to me unless I break all barriers.
How can we break barriers without separation?
How can we break barriers?
Without separation.
No, we are already separate. So
But
we start from here.
Okay.
So it's like a ongoing process till I understand that barriers are what my separation produces.
Right. But we
So-
want to create unity with God, right? We want to create unity with this consciousness.
Yeah, but that is what I'm saying, that without breaking barriers I can't do it.
But it feels like when we break barriers, we've got to be separate, really separate, like no groups.
No.
No? No, okay.
Well,
A
Yes.
question. He said that to take it in and make it part of the background, these
Yeah.
ideas. And I'm wondering what it's like to live like that. What is it? What's an example of that? What's it like? What's in the background?
what is in the background? Take some example, maybe you'll understand. There are people who have understood the very basic nature of the universe around and themselves. And they come to the conclusion that there is just one reality. Such people don't need a background excepting to understand that ultimate reality and their own individuality, as long as they are in the body-mind complex, is one and the same. They don't need these backgrounds that I'm talking about. Like take Jesus Christ. He and his father. Take Sri Ramakrishna. He and his mother. They're one and the same. So they don't need any other background. We are trying to create that background, to relate to it. But because we are very far away and our own mind-body becomes a tremendous barrier to cross over, therefore we need many methods of crossing over, and those methods include all kinds of information. For instance, I am born. Why? Is it questionable? Do I have to ask a question, or can I take it for granted? That I was born, well, take it for granted. But then when you start thinking, and especially when you see that there are many scientists who are still trying to enter this invisible region and trying to ask, what is the human body made of? not only the human mind, leave aside that. What is the human body made of? And they have come to genes or they have come to whatever. They are not visible. They have gone very deep into trying to understand what exactly it is. And then the question of are these genes good or bad? Do they give me disease or do they give me health, and do they help me or do they... So we are at a very, very physical surface level. So I need information. Without that information, without having crossed over all these levels, physical, physiological, neurological, psychological, I cannot simply rush to the ultimate level and say, I and my father are one. Why can't we say it? Because we need a lot of work of crossing over from one level to another. So for crossing over, that is what the Indian psychology says, there are these 4 ways, these yogas. These yogas, or even in Western science, they are discovering many things. So all these yogas are like paths, roads. You start walking, but I start walking doesn't mean that I have reached the destination. So practice and understanding. So a lot of understanding today is needed because we haven't this, should I say, capacity, or should I say that we don't have that desire to cross over through the help of emotional devotion. I don't need to cross over consciously all these levels, physiological and psychological. I don't need to. If I could go straight to the idea that God alone is real, nothing else is. If I could do that, nothing is needed. I don't need to worry about causes and effects and space and time and causation. But we don't have that today. I don't know whether there are rare people who have that kind of approach to life and approach to the ultimate problem of human life. If we don't have it, we need a background. And that background is like understanding the grid. Like every human being has a grid. Whether the grid is reasonable, unreasonable, whether it is sort of corresponds with the reality, with the information that has been gathered, or whether it does not, everyone has a grid. It's like supposing I have an experience. Immediately I will compare it with my past experiences. But it isn't as if my past experiences have taught me something about reality. They can teach me something about, let us say, some misconception. I have a misconception. I see a face and I see, this face is white. So they belong to another kind of race. So it's a misconception. See, I can do all that. It isn't as if I don't have a grid, but the grid has not been purified. You can say grid has not been understood. It has not been, it does not tally with the real facts. We are human beings. Whether the face is white or black or whatever does not make any difference. We belong to the same species. But till yesterday, or I would say till today, we have those misconceptions. So when I get a new experience, I put it in the box or in the grid of misconception. So my experience is not going to teach me anything. It's only going to repeat some misconception, make it deeper.
When you say the word grid, I want to understand it. Are you telling me that that is in my mind?
Mm-hmm.
All
yes,
my tendencies and all my
everything.
all of that. The whole so it's really in my mind when you're talking about the grid.
Yeah, where else?
No, I don't know. I haven't been here, so I'm just asking.
Yeah, in the mind.
It's in the mind.
Yeah. And I am always pushing experiences into some corner and then trying to judge on the basis of that. I make judgments all the time. There's no way that I can say, I have stopped judging anything. I don't. I cannot. Till I understand these things, the first reaction is judgment. So, and when we try to understand what my grid contains and what is it trying to teach me, then I need to examine it. And examination gives you these ideas. You can multiply them by millions, because our grids are not simple, they are very complicated. So this complicated grid needs to be purified. How do I purify it? By understanding, through understanding, or through devotion. Is there any other way? I don't know. Is there any other way? Either through devotion to some basic object which represents the ultimate reality. Isn't that the idea of God? Ultimate reality can be represented by anything. So pay full attention to that. And it will automatically clarify and purify my grid. But if I don't do that, then I am always the subject of, pulling the world in because I want enjoyment or I want whatever. So I am not paying full attention to the representation of God. And therefore my energy is scattered all over and giving me all kinds of feedback. And that feedback can be anything. Misconception, you can't call it absolute knowledge or connection with reality. How do I know what reality is? I don't. So can I get back to faith and say, oh yes, God is real and I only need a representation of God and that is all. If I can't do that, what is the alternative? Start thinking, start understanding, and make your grid more and more tally with reality of a particular stage. Nobody is saying that your grid can be tallied with reality immediately. It cannot be because it's very complicated.
Can work, unselfish work, isn't that a way to also purify your grid?
Yeah, there are millions of ways. The thing is to understand what unselfishness means. How far unselfish I can be in my daily life. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I wanted to go back to the Samkhya chart. There was, it says that the three gunas, from Sattva, Buddhi comes out.
Yeah.
From Rajas, it's the Antarkarna that comes out.
Ahankara.
Ahankara.
Go.
And Tamas, what does it generate, Tamas?
Basically, it's connected with the elements. Let us say, Big Bang and the energies of the Big Bang. That is one way of understanding. But these gunas don't function in isolation. They are always mixing. Energy, by its very nature, is always combining, recombining, and therefore a little bit of sattva and a lot of rajas, or a lot of rajas and a little bit of tamas, or a lot of tamas and a little bit of... So this is happening all the time.
That's the reasons for the arrows that go horizontally.
Back and forth.
Everything.
Oh yeah.
Not only from tamas.
Oh no, never.
Okay.
Yes?
I just need a little clarification. If we're talking about, the goal is Advaita Vedanta, with this greater purpose of realizing I am that, why are we just looking at Sankhya psychology just as a foundation to, like a stepping stone?
Oh yes, because if I don't understand where I am now, I will not understand where I am supposed to go. So that is necessary. Since it has become automatic, it's become mechanical, invisible, I function through it without actually taking note of it. And therefore going back has become difficult at the human level, because I have traveled a lot of, you can say, millions and millions of impressions which have carried me from from the very beginning to this point, as a human being is not a simple entity. A very, very complicated collection of all kinds of grid, physically, mentally, both. So this grid I can cross, as I said, either through bhakti, devotion, or through jnana, which is understanding. These are the two ways. The third way is to pass through this body literally from one level to another. The most basic level is given to us by, let us say, sit quietly. Why? Because this energy, which is functioning all the time, the moment you sit quietly, it starts complaining. It says, I don't want to sit. So to control that physically is such a task. And then to let go of sensations. Sensations start rising, my knee is paining, my leg is paining, this thing is going to sleep, then come to the mind. See, these are the levels which are hiding my basic identity, and if I want it, either I cross it literally, stage by stage, or I give total attention, which is starting here at the psychological level, and pay full attention to the representation of ultimate reality. And most of us know we don't do it, we can't do it. Let us say we don't want to do it in this age. Why? We have to ask ourselves, why has it become so difficult for us to accept the idea that God is real? And we need to just connect with that in order to solve all the problems. I don't believe in it any longer, therefore find out other paths. Yes?
This bhakti yoga is, as the concentration and attention is given to the
Representation.
The attributes. Okay. The representation, it comes back to the worshipper.
That's the nature of energy.
Is that the dissolution of the subject-object duality?
Oh yes, of course.
The internalization of that.
Yeah. But you are using an object.
Yes.
But that object does not represent anything that is ordinarily taking my attention away.
Right.
So therefore, that becomes the representation of ultimate reality.
And one question more.
In my mind, I want to find God. Is that a selfish?
Well, if I want to find my mother, is that selfishness or not? I have to ask myself.
No, I'm just wondering. No.
Well, that seems to be the only purpose every religion gives us. So definitely they are not asking us to be selfish. Yes?
The Antarkarana again, does it include the physical organs of sense? No.
No.
That it's all subtle.
It's all subtle, but it is still matter. It's very subtle, or don't call it matter, call it energy. Very subtle energy.
Yeah.
And that is the Antakarana, that is the subtle body, that is also what now has become very well known through these near-death experiences, that it seems to be there and it hovers over the body, which is supposed to be dead, and sees what is happening, hears what is being said. So it is the subtle body, accepted in all ancient civilizations, but many civilizations stopped there, like Egyptian. If you go to the Egyptian civilization, you will see that they have done a lot of analysis of the subtle body. But they came to the conclusion that subtle body is the last level. In India, they said, it cannot be. There is something beyond. And that is the Atman, pure light of consciousness. So, subtle body, which has also become a great fascination today, because near-death experiences are teaching almost everyone who is interested in these things, that leads to a next fascination. First fascination is the physical body. Next fascination is the subtle body. But to cross both and find pure consciousness is the ultimate purpose. Yes?
So I think what was brilliant about this map, at least the main thing that jumped out at me that I didn't understand before, is that the subtle body is also made up of this time-space causation, just like time-space causation is working on the outside.
Oh, yes.
And so that these desires that I have inside find their perfect match outside, and so that's why they're running outside.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning all these lessons, and then my emotions and mind, everything gets caught up in it, and so it's all running outside. And so then but Mataji, I don't, before, rather than feeling guilty that I'm getting angry or I'm frustrated or disappointed, I feel I'm a little bit justified because I'm caught here in that metaphysical eye, which finds all its perfect objects in the outside world. All the stimuluses that it's jumping. So now,
just a second.
Okay.
You said it's justified.
Yeah.
Why?
Because until I connected to the Purusha, because you're telling me that I didn't necessarily.
I'm already connected.
I'm already connected.
And I am not justified in anything.
Well,
I want to feel justified.
Right, but there is a part of me, because the map helps me think. That it helps me know what was going on.
Oh yes.
Okay.
So that cannot be called justification.
Okay. Well,
it can be called understanding.
Understanding.
Now I understand.
Okay. And then I think on top of that, what you're telling me is that when I do feel frustrated or angry or upset and my emotions are out of control, that that is a perfect opportunity for me to feel grateful that these experiences are coming to me, because it gives me a chance to step back and analyze, to think.
That I don't know. You're making it a path. It's a road that I can feel angry, and then
which
what?
I do, which I get all of these.
No.
Okay.
Everyone does.
Right.
But the idea is, what am I supposed to understand from that? That this is what.
That instead of anger, I can transmute.
Of course.
That
of course.
to gratitude, to an attitude of gratitude.
Gratitude to anger, of course, it can. Or somebody who makes me angry.
I think that's a path.
Work it out.
Okay, but that's because I heard you say that yesterday.
I need to be grateful.
Right.
To the world around me, because they give me the opportunity to experience and learn.
Learn from it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the main thing. All right.
Page 14, we start from the top.
Yeah.
Absolute and manifestation. Swami Vivekananda, in the lecture on absolute and manifestation, gives us another simple visual image to help us understand the same concept of how this universe seems to be manifested from the absolute by passing through time, space and causation. The Antakarana is made up of time, space and causation. In Drik Drishya Vivek, Sri Shankaracharya emphasizes the need to discriminate between the object and oneself as the subject all the time. Once we understand that objectivity is seemingly real and is a creation of our own inner organ, then only can we withdraw to the reality of our nature of being the Sakshi or the witness. We are in the universe, in the Brahmanda. So we are not really aware of time, space and causation as the ultimate basis of the inner organ. Think of time, space and causation as lenses of reflection and refraction at the level of the buddhi, through which the light of the Absolute is reflected. If at least we understand that objectivity demands that there is an inner lens through which the light is penetrating, then we need to reason out, are time, space and causation absolutely real? If they were, then they would need to be unchangeable, permanent and independent, which is not so. Only oneness can be undivided. These are interdependent forces that cause the appearance of the universe, called Maya in Advaita Vedanta.
Yes.
So, one way of, I guess, answering my own question about that background, to do this would be through the neti. So as we're looking at our experience, we're saying, oh, is this real? Is it
Instead of thinking that we need to do neti, we are already doing it. We don't trust our experiences, we don't trust our relationships, we don't trust the world in which we live. We are practicing neti. We have, one can practice that also with understanding. Then it becomes a positive discrimination between what is real and what is unreal. Or the other method is iti. It is part of the same universe. And therefore, it can be trusted. I need to find out how exactly to trust it. So these are the two ways. But neti, which we are following in this age, is very destructive because we don't seem to be able to trust anything, anyone, and we don't trust ourselves, which is the basis of our problems, perhaps.
Yes.
That by starting with distrust of the world around, slowly, we have zeroed down to ourselves and we don't trust ourselves. So it can also be said that we have lost that confidence in ourselves. Because confidence in ourselves is a positive something which will help me to either use neti with understanding or use iti with understanding. Acceptance. Iti is with acceptance, neti has to be with understanding. I cannot negate the whole universe. I'll start by negating myself. And that's a destructive part. Iti means I need to accept. What is it that is making me distrust anyone or anything or anybody? And ask myself, what could it be that I am superimposing which makes me distrust?
The experience of Maya. Normally, we think of ourselves as a center in this body-mind complex and expect to stay permanently this way in order to enjoy or suffer. I've often talked of the legend of the sage Markandeya. He knows that he is established, that he is the steady and illumined light. He is still curious to understand Maya.
Now this story, I don't know, those who haven't heard it, will you please relate it?
I think it's in here, Mataji.
Huh?
The
It is
story
there?
itself is in
The
here.
whole story is not there, the
Oh, the whole-
analysis is
yeah.
there.
Analysis is there.
Sage Markandeya
Why
was...
don't you stand so that they can see? Sorry.
Sage Markandeya was a very realized soul and he lived in his hermitage. He had experienced everything, he had understood everything, he had no desires, no demands, and he was very content with his life. So he is visited by Shiva and Parvati, who come and say that we are very pleased with you and with your your experiences and the way you have done your tapasya, so we want to offer you a boon. And he says, I don't need a boon. I'm very content the way I am. So you have given me your darshan and I have seen you. What more can I want? So they said, no, we would like you to accept a boon. He says, okay, I've heard of this Maya, your Maya. I would like to know more about it. So they said, so be it, and they vanished.
What choice?
Like bad choice.
That is the Maya, that he chooses that. So then some time passes, he forgets about all that, and life is going on. Suddenly one day there is torrential rain, and the rain doesn't stop. It keeps raining, and finally everything starts getting flooded. And the waters come to the ashram, and the ashram gets affected by the floods, and suddenly he finds himself in the waters. And that's the first time that he experiences fear. Then he's very perplexed, he doesn't know why this is happening, everything is lost. And then suddenly he sees in the waters one huge leaf. Is it a palm leaf? Lotus leaf, and on that leaf is a little infant sucking its thumb, sucking its toe.
Whatever.
Toe. Sucking its toe. Very content, very placid, very calm. And when he sees this, with the in-breath of the baby, he finds himself back in the ashram, and everything is fine. Nothing has happened. And then with the out-breath of the baby, he's back in the waters, drowning. And that's when he says, this is Maya. Is that okay?
What does it mean? Now ask yourself, what does it mean? Emotion. Any emotion is capable of throwing us into Maya. Experiences which we don't understand. That's the meaning. Space and time start changing, the grid starts changing because there is emotion. And we don't understand why emotion is there, how to transform it into something that will help me. We simply use it in order to feel that this is what will give me a real experience of life. We use it all the time because it gives us a tremendous boost. We start feeling alive. Even anger makes you feel you are alive. So we want it. So we want Maya, and it starts functioning in whichever way. Yes?
Going back to neti neti and devotion, at its depths, isn't devotion a form of neti neti?
But of course,
God
I have to
real,
negate the whole universe and accept only the representation of the ultimate reality. That's the basic neti neti. But that neti neti is practiced slowly and with devotion, because I am using my emotion to concentrate on something positive, you can call it. Something with a name and a form or some kind of a symbol. So it is not absolute neti neti. The neti neti of Advaita Vedanta is separate reality from unreality, or separate, discriminate between that which causes confusion to that which leads to clarity. And we don't like clarity.
But can't it lead to Advaita? I mean, that was Ramakrishna's first experience. He was following a dualistic path, and yet he had an Advaita experience.
You're talking about somebody who's you know that we don't like clarity, we need to understand. Too much clarity means, then what is left? No confusion? No emotion, no nothing. We don't like clarity.
That's boring.
But there is a clarity which is destructive, and there is a clarity which is very constructive. We have to find out ourselves.
We're using the construct of space-time to get to the point where there is no space-time, that final point. And that's the problem we've got. When we get closer and closer, it's not working. We see, gee, this isn't working. But it's getting closer and closer to that point of no separation where you don't have any space-time.
Yeah, I know.
And then you're out.
But we are far away from that, you know.
Oh, I know. But that's
kind of at the base of Mount Everest.
that's right.
Yes.
And also, didn't Ramakrishna say that the goal of bhakti and jnana are one and the same?
But that is what? Exactly. They are both the same, but bhakti is gradual. And if you posit God's picture in the tree, it will still take time for your attention to be withdrawn. You see, our attention is right now caught up in many things which we feel are real, which I need, which I want. So that all that energy to be released from all that and then turn towards the object of attention is a long, long process. On the way, I can get lost also in bhakti. In both, one can get lost. And jnana is asking you just to turn it back, which is tough. All right.
Question, Mataji.
Pardon?
Just a question. So, we crave for Maya, or it's there already?
See, you are saying something that is the truth. We crave this kind of confusion. You can call it confusion, you can call it play, you can call it life. Any word will do. We love to play because we feel that there is energy. You see, we are nothing but energy. This energy wants to get involved, wants to play with any other source of energy. It can be a physical object, it can be an animal, it can be a human being. I want my energy to go and then get back. It's like a wonderful play I want to do, but without understanding that that's what I want.
And also one more question regarding to Bhakti Yoga. We intend to, we take it as a form, but under Bhakti Yoga, we pray and pray and pray, and there's a Maya is there. If something happens, we intend to blame it on that God himself, okay, I've been praying and everything else, look what have you done to me.
So I can, if it is, if I have no other connection, I can, no problem. I can blame God for everything, but then do I have other relationships also? Then it doesn't function. I pray and pray with what kind of attention? What kind of intensity? We can blame God because that is the only source. But then is that my object of attention? Or are there billions of other things also? And what do I pray for?
That's what we pray and pray, okay, give me a good health. And that's called selfishness.
You know what Nachiketa says? Nachiketa in Katha Upanishad is offered all kinds of things by the god of death, Yamaraja. And he says all these you can keep to yourself. Why does he say that? Because we know that there are many things that can be achieved through our own effort. And we are not ready to let go of that effort. There is this famous story about 3 friends walking in a forest, Suddenly they are face to face with a tiger. One of them says, let us pray to God. The second one says, why bother him? Let us climb the tree. And the third one picks up a stone. The third one has still not done, and Vishnu runs to protect the third one. So, and comes back immediately. So Lakshmi asks why. Says the fellow picked up a stone.
That's called self, what do you call it, trust. Trust in
Lack of trust. That's not bhakti. Bhakti would be just stand there and let God take care of me.
The third person who took the stone,
The
means
first
he
one,
had trust in himself.
the first one is a, what do they say? The first one is a real bhakta. He doesn't want to bother God. And the second one is what? I forget. These are stories just to make a little bit of. Alright, the experience of Maya. Experience of Maya always takes place when there is a confused choice in the mind.
I have often talked of the legend of the sage Markandeya. He knows that he is established, that he is a steady and illumined light. He is still curious to understand Maya. In a moment he is thrown into the whirlpool and instantly experiences the trials and tribulations of life as he is engulfed in Maya. How does this happen? He seems to spiral out of himself, yet he is supposed to be absolutely established. The problem is that being absolutely established does not sound that interesting. It is uninteresting because we want the rasa, tanmatra, the flavor of life, for which we need to spiral out. This would not be a problem if we could remain conscious that it is our own play. If we want to remain dynamic in the ocean of life, that is our choice. For a while we may even have something steady to support ourselves with and stay afloat. But we need to be prepared that at any time that support can be snatched away from us and we can find ourselves drowning. Both experiences can happen. If we are ready for both, then we can go ahead. We must at least stay aware of what life really means. We think disease, pain, and even death are abnormal and should not happen. Birth is considered most normal and calls for rejoicing. According to Hindu psychology, being born is the greatest tragedy. But there is another side to this, which is being born in this world gives us another chance, a tremendous opportunity and adventure to evolve and move forward. We can take it as an adventure only if we are conscious of the two sides of every experience, that is enjoyment and suffering. We never seem to use our buddhi, which would mean looking at life from a wide-angle point of view. If we could do that, we would see the ups and downs and the contrasts and contradictions happening all around us. The last three levels of the ego. In Hindu psychology, there are these three levels of the ego. One, the paramarthik or the paramarthika, which is the ultimate, where there is unity in Brahman. Next is the pratibhasik or pratibhasika level, the dream state, or when there is a shadow-like reality as in dreams. The third is the waking state, the vyavaharik or vyavaharika level, where we experience the daily objective reality. Pratibhasik is a kind of shadowy ego and its experience, which vanishes when we wake up. This is a denser veil that exposes only its own experiences, not anyone else's experiences. The Vyavaharik level, the level at which we function, is the dynamic level that we know very well, where in order to keep some harmony or conventions alive in society, we agree to some ways of behavior so that they do not cause too much friction. This is the utilitarian level where too much friction would cause society to break. So to ensure that society remains a cohesive unit, we agree to certain norms and rules of name and form to function. Even at the Vyavaharik level, the witness is ever present. We keep on shifting between the one and the other, even in the waking state. For example, right now we are reading and discussing, and we're at the same time recording and registering. The witness does not vanish. The witness is present in all the three states of consciousness. The waking state is sublated or negated in the dream state, and in the deep sleep state, both are negated, and yet one knows of that deep sleep state. The ego does not vanish, so that means that the ego is connected to the witness, and this universe is connected to the ego. Swami Vivekananda says, Ishvara, the personal God or the universal ego, is the aggregate of all egos in this universe.
Could we talk a
Yes.
little?
Yeah. So is there a name for deep sleep? It looks like.
Yeah. You are asking for the Sanskrit word?
Yes, as they do.
Sushupti.
Oh, okay.
Today, scientists.
Yes.
Sorry.
Pardon?
I'm sorry,
Sushupti.
Sushupti. And Ishvara.
So is, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So then the Paramarthik,
Pardon? Paramarthik is the ultimate,
would that be
where the
Turiya?
ego is merged with like the ego of a Sri Ramakrishna or the ego of a Christ.
Would that be Turiya?
Yeah, of course. But they keep a little of the lower level alive in order to function, because they come with a purpose. So as soon as the purpose is over, they leave.
Okay.
They leave the stage. We don't want to leave the stage.
Could you talk a little more about Swamiji's statement, Ishvara, the personal God, or universal ego, is the aggregate of all egos in this universe?
Just as I am the aggregate of all the cells functioning in this body-mind complex, exactly the same way, Ishvara is the ego of this universe.
Is that Mataji where Ramanujan was getting the answers from the universal ego? Was that where Ramanujan was getting all the answers?
But you may know that that is the level which is giving you the answers, or you may not know. That's why inspiration, intuition, these ideas are so mysterious. How does it happen? Where does it come from? Like there are especially geniuses who seem to discover something new, something that has not been thought of before. So where does it come from? It comes from that level. So that is the way of understanding that there is another level which ordinarily is not available to us, but it can become available through effort.
So where is awareness residing? The awareness.
Awareness is everywhere.
Is it in our antakarna?
Awareness is everywhere in all your cells. You are the collection of all the cells functioning.
Right. So is awareness?
It's spread all over. In our case, it is spread all over through the wires of nerves. You are connected to the whole body through nerves, so awareness is everywhere within this system.
Right.
So God's awareness is everywhere, because God does not need to function only through nervous systems.
Right. But then my awareness is everything. That because my awareness is in so many directions. Well, it's the awareness that becomes attention.
Awareness, when it is intensified, it becomes attention. It can become more or less. It can be a dim light, it can be focused, it can be full of dust. Just watch yourself and you will see that all these are true. The light within us, awareness within us, can be concentrated on the stomach if you have stomachache. Or it is usually spread all over in a general way. You want to intensify it on something special, some memory, some emotion, it will get intensified. So that proves that it doesn't have a form, it doesn't have a shape, it is something that can be manipulated by you if you want to take control.
And that's what I have to work with, though. That's what I have to work with. That's
yeah.
my laser beam.
Yeah, but where should the laser beam go?
Right.
That's for you to decide. Yeah?
A little clarification on Ishvara as being in relationship to universal.
To the impersonal. Purusha.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
it's a little difficult. My ego, your ego, all these are exactly the same. Each one says I. So the I of each one is impersonal. But when I want to point only to this system, then it becomes separated, individual. So the impersonal is when it is not limited to the object which represents the ultimate.
which is personal God.
Yeah. The impersonal does not have a form, does not have a shape. It's everywhere, present everywhere. So I as the impersonal am also the same. But when I limit myself to this body-mind complex, I am a person.
And to say the personal God or the universal ego, then those are two things.
No, it's the
okay,
same
so
thing.
it is the same. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can
Yeah.
use those phrases the same way. Okay.
And Ishvara is still in Prakriti.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it is
Yes.
like we are within Prakriti, though we can rise out of it with a hint. The hint is, if the I is the same in everyone, it cannot be unique to me. It's not unique to me. So that's the impersonal level. I can understand it intellectually, but to realize it, I need to go beyond my own nervous system, which Sri Ramakrishna shows how he has the capacity to feel the pain of grass. So he's not functioning through his nervous system. We function through our nervous system, through wires. You can say that is wireless, this is through wires. So we need to become wireless. Oh yes.
I think it's great.
That's how you do. When a mother connects with the child, she is using wireless, not wires. Yes?
So when we use the word Ishta,
Yeah.
and Ishvara, is that the same like?
Ishta is that representation. Representations can be many, millions. So if you choose one, that's your Ishta.
And that for us, then, or whatever you choose then is, when we think of this Ishvara, is that image.
Exactly. And Ishta, the very word means in Sanskrit, that which you like. It's connected with the word Ichcha, my desire. So the desired one becomes Ishta.
What's the linkage of awareness to the ego?
Awareness to the ego. Ego is like a hole.
Like a hole?
Yeah. Whole of the cyclone. The central point of the cyclone, which is empty, but it is through that the whole movement starts. So the light reflected or passing through that hole is called ego. It has no separate individuality of its own, but it can become identified with the cyclone. We also do the same. It starts thinking of this cyclonic nature of the energy that is what we are,
as its own.
And then it wants to possess that, and it wants to feel it has created that. Then once it starts that game, then wherever it flows, it wants to possess that outside itself also.
And wherever it flows is is awareness.
Awareness is light.
Is the light, okay.
Which is everywhere.
Great.
But within our system, it functions through the nervous system. And it can, with the help of reasoning, imagination, it can travel out also.
So awareness, the big A awareness, it can also be same as Purusha.
It is the same.
It is, okay, good. Well,
Don't hit your head.
It is the same.
Hello, okay.
But only identified with a very limited.
Got it.
That's all.
Okay.
Question, your illustration of the ego as being the center of the cyclone, you take that back to the 3 levels of Viharak and Pratibhasik. Is that a matter of the quality of the light that's different?
Oh yeah.
So when it's associated with the Purusha, there's
it's illuminated.
It's just the illuminated light.
Yeah,
whereas
laser.
Through the other 2, it's refracted through the Buddha.
Yeah. Yes.
It says when the dream state is a denser veil that exposes only its own experiences, not anyone else's experiences. Is it the universal ego that's at play when 2 people on different parts of the earth have a dream and they have the same dream or meet in the dream or something so much like it really does involve another person?
I
Is that what's happening?
I just gave you a simple idea of what dreams are, but there can be dreams which use some kind of a wireless system where they come to the same wavelength. Maybe you will understand these things by modern gadgets, how they can be connected even without any physical apparent connection. We are discovering, human beings are discovering that it is not necessary to have physical connection all the time. So that means that in all these 3 states, even in the waking state, even in the dream state, we can break certain barriers, certain laws and travel. There's no problem. But the question is, can we do it consciously through understanding, or are we doing it more or less unconsciously, subconsciously, or with the use of imagination? Imagination, which we use ordinarily to sort of make plans in our mind, or images, or memories, all that is imagination. But this imagination can become more, which word should I use? More real. Like, let us say, the imagination of an architect, or the imagination of an engineer, or the imagination of a, what else would you, artist. That is a different level of imagination. Go deeper and deeper and deeper, come to virtual reality, that also is imagination. Then come to your waking life, that also is imagination. So imagination can have various degrees of intensity.
It is the power of the mind. Yeah.
Nothing else, energy. Manipulation of energy through emotions, through activity, through thinking, through reasoning. Nothing but that. It's energy.
The harnessing of that imagination energy, which can assist with bhakti yoga.
Oh yeah, of course. That's also imagination. That I posit an object and then give it more reality through imagining it to be real. As you will read in books on bhakti, that you have to think of your ishta or your representation of God as so real that you need to feed it, you need to wake it up, you need to sing to it, you need to dance to it, you need to. There's no limit. And in India it is still done.
Still done.
And I suppose in every part of the world perhaps it is still alive. But in India I know it is still alive. People do it. They'll go out and say they are going out to the Ishta. Coming in, they will say they have come in. There is a corner or there is a room where this presence is established, and that is kept as sacred and holy and looked after just as you would look after a presence, a real presence, human being.
And they're doing that because by doing that, they're taking all of their energy of their attention, imagination, emotions, and putting it into
Making
this
the
representation of the universal.
Yeah, that is the idea.
And that's how they're getting closer and closer.
Yes.
And that's why it's a gradual process, you said.
Yes, because you're still using an object, a representation, till the representation becomes real, as in the case of Sri Ramakrishna, that the mother speaks to him and the mother tells him do this and don't do that, till that level.
Till that.
The saligrams are the same.
Same idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a symbol.
Well,
there can be symbols, there can be pictures, there can be idols, there can be a river, it can be a mountain, it can be anything. Because the whole universe actually is linked through consciousness. So that is why this idea was given to the Indians that it matters little what you choose as your ishta. The only thing is be true to it.
Should we read this paragraph?
Yeah.
Today, scientists are trying to find reality in the object. They have come to the level where they understand that the observer or the subject is directly involved in its experiences. Like in a dream, the dream or the experience of the dream belongs to the dreamer. The dreamer does not depend on the dream. This is the basic concept to understand, and we should apply it all the time till it becomes natural to be aware of an ever-present witness.
So I've said the dreamer does not depend on the dream. Should we depend on the experiences? That's the idea.
For this construct, are they, like the dream and this and that, are they saying, are they using the space-time for fixing this dream? Or what are they using it? How are they figuring it out? The
Who?
position. The people that are discussing this. Here we have.
Well, it's my statement.
What I'm saying is it's kind of an inaccurate system.
This kind of thinking is definitely using space-time causation all the time.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That space-time is inaccurate.
Because we're in the relative
we
world.
can't fix it. That's one problem.
You'd like to fix it?
I can't.
Maybe Chuck says it's inaccurate, right? But isn't that kind of what you were asking about, Caroline? That it or I don't know if you were asking it. I mean, can we think of these levels of the waking, the dreaming, the deep dream? Is it becoming, it changes, it's not always, we can change our sense of time and space, right? And when we're talking about the light being refracted and...
It does change.
Yeah.
We have 3 words for space-time. There is physical space-time, it is called Mahakasha. Then there is the mental space-time called Chittakasha. And there is the ultimate space-time, which is called the Ishvara space-time, which is called Chidakasha.
That's right, I'm asking.
Three types.
So it's not that it's necessarily a problem per se, then, it's.
That is the way we function.
Yeah, ultimately.
That is the way the universe functions. Getting out of space-time means merging in the ocean.
And we can probably at this point assume that, whichever of those levels I'm operating at probably has something to do with my physiological structure too, right? I mean, that I'm very.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
You can't separate it. I like to think of not the physiological system, but the play of energy,
Okay.
which makes it easier. I am energy, or I am the light. I am the light playing with energy. That makes it easier rather than thinking of myself as a fixed form. You make it fixed,
Then
it's very difficult to get out of it.
Question, Aditi.
Yes.
Sorry. Regarding the Bhakti Yoga, you just mentioned that in India we create a room and a puja room, whatever, and we know the symbolism, the personal God is there, a picture or a statue, whatever we acquire. We feed, we give harati, we decorate, we sing. Is this for our benefit?
Or is it for God's benefit?
Back of our mind,
Selfish.
back of our mind, we know the God, the representation of God is not going to eat.
No, that's wrong.
How do I think that?
No. There is exchange of energy. If your desire is real, there will be a real exchange of energy, which I may see, I may not see. Just as looking at a picture, take examples, you will understand. There is somebody you love and the picture is there. You look at it every day. Aren't you getting something?
Yeah, peace.
It's whatever, but there is an exchange of energy. So same with this idea also, that there is an exchange of energy, though it is at a level which cannot be seen, but it can be felt.
So you will call that as satisfaction?
You see, if I separate myself, whose benefit is it? Definitely I am trying to relate. Instead of saying whose benefit, I can use the language of relationship. I am trying to relate. So relationship does not, it depends on whether I want to make it like a commercial something exchange, then the benefit would come into picture. But God needs me, I need God, both. It's as easy as that to understand, because I also represent in a very minuscule way the same energy, the same light. Therefore, I am not little, I am not small, I am not bad.
So we're just connecting ourselves,
Yes.
the way we do things.
Yeah, with everything. We are always trying to relate and get back a response. The problem is I do not know and I do not realize what kind of energy I am sending, and when it comes back and I realize that it is something unpleasant, I say that is responsible. I don't know what energy I sent, with what motivation. So I have to take care of that. What is my motive and what am I sending that energy with, the emotion or with the ideas, images. And when it comes back to me, that side also will be doing the same thing. So that is why these things need understanding. Or if I don't want to use understanding, then it is God's creation. What right have I to throw any kind of energy which is not pure? See?